boy, girl, back it up. I'm trying to feed you here. Hi everyone, today I am out in the garden nice and early and I'm going to start planting up the fall garden. I have a bunch of seedlings that I really want to get into the ground and I've waited long enough. It's definitely time to get this job started. It's so beautiful out right now. I think it's not even 7 a.m. so it's really nice and cool, and this is going to be a good time to transplant. If I wait too long in the day, it gets too hot and then it just doesn't get done. So today I got up early and we're gonna start getting some of this stuff in the ground. So here's a look at how my fall seedlings are doing. These are the ones that I potted up a couple of weeks ago in a video. They're already starting to grow through the bottom of the pots. And they're looking pretty good, but there is some bug damage on them. You can see there's actually a flea beetle right there. And you can see, especially on this Napa cabbage, all that flea beetle damage. But this is why I like to start my fall crops indoors for a few weeks, to give them a little bit of a head start before they go out and those bugs can get to them. So I have been covering up these seedlings out here with some fabric just to protect them a little bit, but the bugs had kind of already gotten to them, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping that they just pull through. Here are my little bok choy seedlings. Also have a little bit of damage, but hopefully these grow quickly enough that it's not too much of an issue. And then my tray of lettuce, kale, and other greens. So these ones are not ready to go out yet, but today I'm going to be transplanting a few of these seedlings. I've already pulled some of them out and placed them where I'm going to be working today. And to be honest, I've been really putting this off for a few weeks. One, because it's been just so hot and I don't want these seedlings to fry in the ground. But also I've just been a little bit overwhelmed because this is a lot of stuff to put in the ground and they're kind of going all over the garden because a lot of our plants are getting ripped out right now and we're replacing those spots with these seedlings. But it's just a little bit overwhelming because it feels like we are replanting the entire garden, which we kind of are because we're transitioning it to the fall garden now. And I think in my mind, I kind of had this idea that I had to do everything all at the same time, on the same day. But I think what I'm going to do is just take it easy and take it little by little, and I'll just see how much of this we can get transplanted today, and whatever doesn't get transplanted, it will go in the ground another day. So hopefully you guys don't mind being along for the ride and just doing a little bit today, and it's not going to be a really big impressive planting day, but that's just kind of real life right now, and we're just going to get a little bit done and not put it off any longer. Here are the areas I'm going to start with today. I have this one bed that used to have our leeks that are all done now, so I'm going to kind of clean it up a little bit and amend it with some compost. And then in this bed, I have these Brussels sprouts plants that I want to put in. And I haven't successfully grown Brussels sprouts before, and I'm not sure that this is going to be the year either because I think they need a little bit more time than they're going to have. I think we have maybe 75 days in our growing season left. So it's a decent amount of time, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for these. But we're just going to pop them in the ground anyway because I have the seedlings. And we'll see what happens. I don't think that they're going to take up this entire bed. I have about a 2 by 6 foot area here. And I'm gonna probably give those 6 seedlings 1 square foot each at least, but I think I'll have a little bit of extra space, so I've brought some seeds out as well that we're going to fill in the space with. In the next bed, I have a little bit of space in here where we had our edamame, and that's all been harvested. And this is probably about a 2 by 3 area. And here I'm going to put some purple kohlrabi. I think that will be enough space for it. And then if we get around to it, I also want to pull out these 3 Roma tomato plants that I have because the plants are not doing very well. They have been hit with blight, and you can see that the plants are basically dead now. And a lot of the fruit that's on here, it just keeps like falling off. If you just touch it just a little bit, it will fall to the ground, and we'll just find tomatoes on the floor all the time. So I think it's time to just like rip these plants out, and we'll harvest the rest of the fruit, whether it's red or green, and then we'll have space to transplant some other stuff in here as well. So the Brussels sprouts plants are popped in, and I think we have a little bit of space kind of like in front of these plants over here. So what I'm going to do is, earlier in the season I had some cilantro plants and I let them go to seed, and you can see that there's a bunch of dried cilantro seeds on here now, and I saved the plants. I think what we're going to do is just try and pop off all of these seeds and replant them, and then we'll have another round of cilantro to go. So just like that. And we'll bury them, of course, but I'm just popping them out right now. I think we will go ahead and pull out these tomato plants right now because this is going pretty quickly, and I think it would be really nice and satisfying to just like reset the majority of the bed right now, and that way we can see what kind of space we're working with and see what else we can put on this side of the bed. And I just wanted to show you an edamame plant that we left in here to save the seeds from. This was definitely one of my favorite new things that we grew this year. It was super easy and low maintenance and very productive. And you can see now the seeds are developed in there and they're black, which is really cool. So yeah, I would definitely recommend trying this out if you haven't tried growing edamame before. They were so easy to grow. So we'll make sure that we pull these mature pods off so that we can save the seeds for next year, because I'm definitely going to grow more of these plants next year in the garden. So I brought over some of these purple cauliflower plants as well, and I think we'll put that in the spot where we just ripped out the tomatoes. So I think we've got a good start. We pretty much replanted these two beds back here. So we've got our Brussels sprouts in this bed. And in this bed we have kohlrabi on this side and then purple cauliflower on the other side. I'm feeling pretty good about that. As you can see, we still have a lot of plants to do. We probably didn't even do like a quarter of what we have, but that's okay. I am glad to have some of it done because a lot of these are actually going to go in these two long rows here. So we cleared out all of our zucchini and winter squash on the left side, and then on the right side, this is where we've been tarping for the year, and I just pulled off one of the tarps in the back, and you can see how all the weeds that were here before, they're all dead. So this is going to be nice to plant in now, pretty much weed free, and it'll be nice to have this big space again. So really that's the part of this process I've kind of been dreading because it's a lot more work. You can see that these rows are a lot longer than the beds that we just planted up, and we have to do a little bit of prep work with like the tarps and amending. But with the little bit that we did today, and we'll just keep popping things into the garden here and there, it just makes it a little bit more manageable. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us today and doing some gardening. I hope you are getting your fall gardens in as well, or maybe you have already planted them in. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video.